Welcome back, book buddies. It's spooky season, so we have a nice Halloween book. This book is called Room on the Broom. And inside there's spooky things to make and do. Now I think we're going to make a witch's hat, and today we're going to make it for frog. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. But first it's time to read. Let's go. Room on the Broom. Look, that's how we make our witch's hat. But let's read our story first. There's a witch's hat and her broom and her wand and her bow. Oh no, it's blowing in the wind. Room on the Broom. The witch had a cat and a very tall hat and long ginger hair, which she wore in a plait. How the cat purred and how the witch grinned as they sat on their broomstick and flew through the wind. But how the witch wailed and how the cat spat when the wind blew so wildly it blew off the hat. Down, cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the hat, but no hat could be found. Then out of the bushes, thundering paws, there bounded a dog with the hat in his jaws. He dropped it politely, then eagerly said, as the witch pulled the hat firmly down on her head, I am a dog as keen as can be. Is there room on the broom for a dog like me? Yes, cried the witch, and the dog clambered on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. So we have a cat, a witch, and a dog. Over the fields and the forest they flew. The dog wagged his tail, and the stormy wind blew. The witch laughed aloud and held on to her hat, but away blew the bow from her long ginger plait. There's the bow, and the dog's going, oh no! Down, cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the bow, but no bow could be found. Then out from a tree, with an ear-splitting shriek, there flapped a green bird with the bow in her beak. She dropped it politely and bent her head low, then said, as the witch tied her plait in a bow, I am a bird as green as can be. Is there room on the broom for a bird like me? Yes, cried the witch. So the bird fluttered on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. So we have a cat and a witch and a dog and a bird. Over the reeds and the rivers they flew. The birds shrieked with glee, and the stormy wind blew. They shot through the sky to the back of beyond. The witch clutched her bow and let go of her wand. Oh no! Down, cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the wand, but no wand could be found. Then all of a sudden, from out of the pond, leapt a dripping wet frog with a dripping wet wand. He dropped it politely, then he said with a croak, as the witch dried the wand on a fold of her cloak, I am a frog, as clean as can be. Is there room on the broom for a frog like me? Yes, said the witch. So the frog bounded on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. So we have a cat and a witch and a dog and a bird and a frog. Over the moors and the mountains they flew. The frog jumped with joy, and the broom snapped in two. Oh no! Down fell the cat and the dog and the frog. Down went the tumbling into a bog. The witch's half broomstick flew into a cloud, and the witch heard a roar that was scary and loud. I'm a dragon, as mean as can be, and I'm planning to have witch and chips for my tea. No, cried the witch, flying higher and higher. The dragon flew after her, breathing out fire. Help, cried the witch, flying down to the ground. She looked all around, but no help could be found. The dragon drew nearer, and licking his lips, said, maybe this once I'll have witch without chips. But just as he planned to begin on his feast, from out of a ditch rose a horrible beast. It was tall, dark and sticky, and feathered and furred. It had 4 frightful heads and had wings like a bird. It had a terrible voice, and when it started to speak, with a yowl and a growl and a croak and a shriek, it dripped and it squelched and it strode from the ditch, and it said to the dragon, "Buzz off! That's my witch." Look at the dragon, he's like, "Oh, scary monster!" The dragon drew back and he started to shake. "I'm sorry," he spluttered. "I made a mistake. It's nice to have met you, but now I must fly." And he spread out his wings and off through the sky. Then down flew the bird, and down jumped the frog, down climbed the cat, and phew, said the dog. And "Thank you, oh, thank you," the grateful witch cried. "Without you, I'd be in a dragon's inside." Then she filled up her cauldron and said with a grin, "Find something, everyone, throw something in." So the frog found a lily, the cat found a cone, the bird found a twig, and the dog found a bone. They threw them all in, and the witch stirred them well, and while she was stirring, she muttered a spell. Iggity, ziggity, zaggity, zoom. Then out rose a truly magnificent broom, with seats for the witch, the cat and the dog, a nest for the bird, and a shower for frog. "Yes," cried the witch. They all climbed on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Look at that cool broom. The dog's reading a book. He must be a book buddy. The end. Oh, that was a brilliant book. I love that. So let's go back and we'll make our witch's hat. So it says we'll need some black card, which I do. I've got 2 sheets. I need some sticky tape. I need a pencil. I need scissors. And this one's got stars on it. So I've got some sticky stars too. So looks like we have to make a cone. Then we have to draw a circle. We have to go snip, snip, snip. Then we have to turn it into a hat. So let's get making. So I want to make this hat for Frog. Because remember, Frog was on the broom. Where was he? There he is. Look how happy that frog is. And I thought he looked very cool. So I thought our frog needs a witch's hat. So first it did say, roll up your card to make a cone. So we'll make our cone for our witch's hat. And then we'll get some sticky tape and stick it together. So there's my cone. On the back, I've got my sellotape. Ooh! So we made our nice cone and we stuck it all together to look like the witch's tall hat. Now we need to make the brim of her hat. So it says you have to pop it down. You have to draw a circle around the hat so you can see the size of it. So there's our circle. Then we need another big circle to make it. So I want it big. So we'll do a big, big circle around the hat. There we go. And then we'll cut this out. Now we have to be very careful when it comes to scissors. So you make sure you ask your adults to help you. Or if you're a bigger person, just make sure you're very careful. You don't want you to snip your fingers. Ow! Oh, that looks like a good size. And I'm going to cut this hole out as well. Just want to cut a little hole like this. Round and round, round and round and round. Look at that. Now we make little snips, snip, 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 snip. And what we do is we push these up like this. Push, 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 push. And what you do is you put that on top and you put some sticky tape in here, and that keeps the brim on your hat. So there we go. I've stuck them all down with some sticky tape, and I got some glue as well to make it sure it's extra sticky. I don't want my hat to fall off. And look how good that looks. Isn't that a brilliant little hat? Now, in our book, they put some lovely stars on the hat. So why don't we put some stars on our hat to make it look extra magic? We have some red stars and some blue stars, a nice silver white star, some green stars, and some yellow stars. Look at that. I'm going to put some more stars on it too to make it a little bit more magical. I think Frog loves her witch's hat, especially with all those stars on it. Thank you very much for joining me again today. If you enjoyed this book, I'll leave a link below of where you can get it. Do come back so we can read more spooky books together. Please like and subscribe. Bye.